What's up, everybody? My name is Dell. This is Dell on Movies. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with me again. And I got another challenge video that I'm responding to. This time, it was Huck. Once again, it was Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. I did a few of his challenges last month. This time, we're doing all action movies. He wants you to pick out 25 action movie stars and one movie from each of those people. Of course, I wouldn't be me if I didn't put my own twist on it. And the twist comes from me watching a lot of you guys' videos that did the challenge. Some of my fellow Bluetubers out there, and a lot of them started off the same way. You know, I wanted to get the ladies involved, and I got these 5 ladies here. That was generally about the number, about 5 female action stars. Well, I said, you know what? I'm just going to go full throttle, all female action stars here, or at least action movies with females in them. And let's see what we come up with. So the first one I want to start with is the one that a lot of you did pick, and that is Sigourney Weaver and Aliens, not the original Alien, because that's a horror movie, at least in my eyes. But Aliens is a pure action movie. Same creatures, same characters, but different genre altogether. Now, the reason I started first with this movie is really to talk about the next movie, because a lot of people, when action heroines come up, Sigourney Weaver is the first name they think of, and she's the originator, and she was great, fantastic. Obviously, I picked her. I love the movie, but she was not the first one. I always go back to one person before her, and that is Miss Pam Grier, and this is Foxy Brown. So I had to pick it. Fantastic movie. This is the one that really made her a 70s icon. So it's just no brainer in my mind. I had to go with Miss Pam Grier. Next one is someone you probably haven't heard of. Her name is Yanine. I'm gonna screw this all up, guys, but her name is Yanine Midananda. She is a martial arts star. She's been in a few movies. She was in Triple Threat not long ago with Tony Jaa. She's been in a few other movies that you have heard of. You've seen her, so if you've watched any of those kind of movies, but you just may not know her name. The one where she was a star, she was played the leading role, was this movie called Chocolate. I've talked about this before on the channel. She is a young autistic girl, and basically her superpower, it's not really superpower, but basically her skill is that she can mimic whatever she sees as far as fighting goes. And she loves to watch martial arts movies, Bruce Lee movies in particular, Tony Jaa movies, and she can do everything in those movies. So when her mom is sick and trying to raise money for cancer, she finds out that there's some pretty bad people out there that owe her mom money, and she's gonna go collect that money. So it's just a fun movie. It's crazy from beginning to end. So definitely check out Chocolate if you're into martial arts movies. Not the last martial arts movie you'll see, but definitely a fun one. Another one that you could call a martial arts movies, but we don't, because it stars one Charlize Theron. So I'm definitely going with her and her most brutal action movie, and that is Atomic Blonde. The people behind John Wick had a lot to do with this movie, and it shows in the fight scenes. The fight scenes are just fantastic in this movie. Of course, that staircase fight at the end, it goes on for a long time, and it feels like the characters in it are fighting for a long time when they're all out of breath and punches are not as effective as they were, and it's just a great scene and a great movie. I love this movie. I know a lot of you guys picked Mad Max Fury Road, and she's great in that one, but I prefer Atomic Blonde. The next person on my list here is one who's become a household name this year, really, because of a fantastic movie, my number one movie so far this year, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and that's Michelle Yeoh. But I'm not picking that movie. I'm picking a older movie, a superhero movie she did years back, and this one's called Silverhawk. Now, if you want to see her in more martial arts, she's a superhero with martial arts powers here. This is pretty much Batman. She's a rich socialite by day, superhero by night. night-ish. There's a lot of daytime scenes in it. She has a cool motorcycle. Is it the greatest movie ever? Not really, but it is pretty fun. And I wanted to talk about this as opposed to a couple of movies that I've already talked about. So one of them I think you'll see coming up at some point. But let's move on to the next movie, and this is another martial artist, another Chinese lady. This is Ziyi Zhang, and she's also been in a few movies with Michelle Yeoh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon being one, and I've talked about that movie before. And the movie this time I'm talking about is House of the Flying Daggers. It is in that martial arts epic mode of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So it's a really epic film, beautiful looking movie, has some great martial arts. So check it out if you didn't see House of the Flying Daggers. Next is a movie that is a fun movie. It didn't do well critically, didn't do well at the box office, but I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, and I know it's not the greatest movie, and the person who is the lead here is not known as an action star, but this is definitely an action movie, and it pays homage to Pam Grier in a lot of ways. And the movie this is Proud Mary, starring Taraji P. Henson. So again, it's just a fun time with that one. Lucy Liu is next up on my list, and I could have went a couple different ways here. So I went for one where she's a co-lead, not a true lead. The one I don't know if there is an action movie where she's just the lead. At least I don't own one. But this one she's a co-lead, and you probably know which one I'm going with. Well, there's really only two choices that you're probably thinking of. Those other movies are going to come up soon, but this one is Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. This is the second one, and keeping in theme. In line with my theme of all females, this one is even a little more girl power type movie than the first Charlie's Angels, and that's due to the addition of Demi Moore as the villain. So it's a fun time. Next up is Jennifer Garner. Now I almost excluded her, but I didn't want to. But I don't have the movie that I want to include for her, so I had to settle. I really wanted to talk about Alias, the TV show, which she was fantastic in. I don't own that. The other thing, Peppermint, was an action movie she did a couple years ago. I don't own that. That was pretty good. So I settled for, I do have Elektra, but nah, I'm not recommending that in any way, shape, or form. I do have Daredevil, and this is the director's cut, which is a much better movie than the theatrical cut. So if you've only seen the theatrical cut, check out this version. And Jennifer Garner, of course, plays Elektra, which then turned into the spinoff for that character. But the director's cut of Daredevil is a better film. So check that out if you haven't seen it. It's about, I'll warn you ahead of time, it's probably about 30-40 minutes longer than the theatrical cut also. Next is a movie I've talked about before, and it is Haywire, starring Gina Carano. Steven Soderbergh directs, and I have to preface this like every time because I know it's going to come up at some point by somebody's going to say it. But yeah, there are some issues with Miss Carano being a good human being, so I'm not going to go into that. But this is a good movie, Haywire, and she's former MMA star, and she brings all of her MMA skill to this film. Not the greatest actress as far as, you know, the parts between the fight scenes, but the fight scenes are fantastic. Next is a movie that a lot of you like, but the person who stars in it you don't really think of as an action star, and because you look at her, nothing about her looks like she should be in any action movies. But when you watch the movie, you can see that she is actually really athletic and pulls off the action scenes pretty well. And that is Melissa McCarthy, and the movie is Spy. So some of you might shake your head, but the ones who know. I mean, she really did. She pulled it off. I really enjoyed Spy, and I like Melissa McCarthy overall, but this is one of her better movies. Next is one from someone who we do think of as an action star. That's Carrie Ann Moss. And I'm not going with the original Matrix. I'm going to go with the Matrix Reloaded. I talk about the Matrix all the time. Reloaded is actually a pretty good movie. I like Reloaded. I'm not too big a fan of the third movie or the fourth movie in the franchise, but I did like Reloaded. So we're going with Carrie Ann Moss for that one. Next is going to be Kate Beckinsale, and the movie is Underworld. This is a DVD, guys, and well, first off, let me talk about this movie. This is basically The Matrix with vampires and werewolves. That's what it is, and I really enjoyed this first movie. I actually liked the second one. The rest of the franchise, they probably could have kept. Reason I wanted to talk about this particular edition, though, if you look at it over the last year, 2 years, Lionsgate has been getting a lot of credit for including the clear slip covers on their steel books and making them really gorgeous and all that. Well, this movie came. I would have bought this DVD. I don't know how many years ago. It might be 7, 8, 9 years ago, and yeah, it did it then, and it is a pretty nice cover and to go with the rest of the movie. So I did want to highlight that, guys. Let's get to the next movie, though. The next one is a movie that I want a sequel badly for this movie, but so much time has passed. The actress has aged pretty much, so I don't think it's ever gonna happen, which is a shame because I really really enjoyed this movie. I went to the theaters to see it, my wife and I, and we both had a blast. And we walked out like, oh man, when is the second one coming out? And it never came out, but I still love it. That is Salt, and the actress, of course, is Angelina Jolie. If you can make it, Miss Jolie, if you by some chance stumble across my video, definitely please, I'm pleading with you to make another one if you can do it. The next one is a classic. This is one that just about all you guys had on your list in your video. And I'm going to do the cop out thing and include both of these movies as one movie. And of course, that is the Kill Bill movies. There's volume one, and if you notice, I got the snazzy yellow case on it, and volume two, I got a snazzy red case on it. And yeah, guys, I kind of bootlegged the cases from other movies and made it work, but I think they look pretty good. Of course, the movies are great. You already know. So let's move on to the next one. This is another woman who's not really known as an action star, but she's been in a few action movies actually. And this is the first one that she's been a lead in, and that is Gabrielle Union, and the movie is Breaking In. If you haven't seen it, she's a mom. She's going back to take care of, I think, her dad's estate, and it's been a couple years since I saw it. And some bad guys are after him, and they are after the money that he left behind or something that he left behind in the house. And I can't remember I can't remember if it was dad or ex-husband. But anyway, they get in the house while she is out. She's like out in the yard on the phone, and they get in and lock her out basically, and her kids are in there with these guys. So now she's got to try to get in the house to get them out, and it's a pretty fun time. Next one is Scarlett Johansson, and other than Silverhawk from Michelle Yeoh, I kind of tried to avoid the superhero movies, so I didn't pick anything of hers from the MCU. I didn't pick anything from ScarJo's MCU movies. So I didn't want to pick Ghost in the Shell, even though I don't have that one first off, but it's not one of my favorite movies, and yeah, just feels off to me. But I did pick this nutty masterpiece in wackiness, and that's Lucy. It's just it's pretty insane movie. I don't even think I can call it a good movie, but it is definitely a turn your brain off and have fun kind of movie watching her just do insane stuff. So Lucy gets my pick for this one. The next one is an action movie classic. Gina Davis is the star. No need for me to say anything else. That is The Long Kiss Goodnight. Christmas is coming. This is a Christmas movie. Go please watch The Long Kiss Goodnight. I will say it's probably less of a Christmas movie than Die Hard, but Christmas definitely figures into the to it. So holiday season's here. Check it out. Next one is not a Christmas movie, and it's from a woman again, not known as an action star, though she's appeared in a few. But this one, she's the lead. It's actually a western, and that's Sharon Stone. And the movie is The Quick and the Dead. I just have a blast with this every time I watch it. Gene Hackman is a great villain in it. Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio, really young Leonardo DiCaprio, right around Titanic time, and he's a fun character in this movie. But Sharon Stone is the lead, and she does a job. She kills it in this one. The next is Michelle Rodriguez. She's been a staple in one of the biggest franchises in movie history. Whether or not you think it's the best, the worst, or anything in between, it's one of the biggest because it's still going and is just making all kind of dough. And that is the Fast and Furious franchise. And the one in particular I want to highlight for Michelle Rodriguez is Furious 7. I think it's an underrated movie in the franchise. And she gets to have a fight scene here with MMA star turned actress, wrestler Ronda Rousey. And so this movie's a lot of fun. And just a quick defense of these movies, I've spoken before. My wife just really loves these movies, and I love them too. But it's really, I'm going into the movie to see just how stupid they can get with it. So when F9 happened and they all went to space, I was just tickled pink, so and giggling in the theater, just because I was there for the stupidity. And this movie has some of that too. This is one where they just take a car and leap it from one skyscraper to another. It's crazy. But yeah, Michelle Rodriguez has a fight scene with Ronda Rousey in this one, so check that one out. Next one is a movie that when it came out, at least I thought it was pretty popular. I know it made a bunch of money, and I know I thought critics liked it. I thought fans liked it, but over the last 6 months to a year, it seemed like it's gotten cool to hate this movie. And I don't understand because I personally love this movie, and that is Birds of Prey, and Margot Robbie is the star. And of course, she's got an all-girl cast here. Rosie Perez, who's like an all-time favorite of mine, an all-time crush of mine also. Journey Smollett. So we got a really good cast here, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, that's the name I was trying to think of. She's also in the movie. So a really fun time with Birds of Prey. But Margot Robbie, she kills it as Harley Quinn, as she does every time out as that character. So no complaints from me at all. The next movie is a movie that Tom Cruise stars in, but he's not the typical Tom Cruise that we think of. He's not the super duper crazy action star. He's actually got to work his way up to that. Most of the movie, the real action hero is actually Emily Blunt, and that is Edge of Tomorrow or Live Die Repeat or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know, but it's this movie is one of the best sci-fi movies in recent memory. I really had a blast with it. It's got a lot of action. It's even got a lot of humor in it, which I wasn't expecting also. So definitely, most of you have probably seen it by now, but definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Next up is a model turned actress. This is Olga Kurylenko. Over the last 3, 4, 5 years, she's been establishing herself more and more as an actress and as an action actress. She's got a couple of movies out there, and this one was a fun time. This is called The Courier. So it's basically like the transporter, more or less. And she's the transporter, of course. In this case, she's the courier, and it's just got a lot of fun action scenes in it. And just for another plug for my collector, another tip for my collectors, this one was a Dollar Tree find with the slip and everything. The slip was in great shape, and it's a pretty good movie. I actually saw it before I found it at Dollar Tree. And next is gonna be not who you think it is from this franchise. So I'm going with the Terminator franchise. So I don't have any of the Terminator movies individual. Well, I take that back. I do have Terminator Genesis and Dark Fate individually, but the other movies are all in this box set right here. And of course, the first instinct when you see this is that Linda Hamilton T2. That's what I'm going with, but I'm not. And it's a great movie. It's one of the all-time great movies, but I'm kind of tired of talking about that movie. I'm going to talk about the movie that I like that none of you seem to like, and that is T3, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, Kristanna Loken. I think that's how you say her name, but she is the Terminator in that movie, or that's sent back to kill, in this case. Ooh. In this case, she's sent back to kill the son. I just like showing off this. This is all embossed. It's a great set. Opens up pretty wide. Not gonna go through it all, but yeah, T3 is the movie that I'm going with here. Again, I like that movie. I think it's a perfect end to the trilogy. A lot of you guys hate that movie, and that's okay. I'll still enjoy it. And finally, I'm going with a B movie queen. So this woman, she has been in some of the just most low budget, have USA Up All Night kind of movies. Her name is Julie Strain, and you can't even see her picture on this because this set right here, Girls, Guns, and G Strings, is a 12 film collection, as you can see, 12 film set of Andy Sedaris movies. If you don't know what Andy Sedaris movies are, they're basically James Bond-ish kind of movies, but the stars are all females, and they're basically all like Playboy playmates and penthouse pets that are just put into these spy movies, and it's just that girls, guns, g-strings, lots of topless scenes. And Julie Strain, and I'll put a picture up over here, is just the queen of those movies. She's probably in half of these movies, if not more. And she's also Heavy Metal 2000 animated movie. She's on the cover of that. All these movies are the same, so it doesn't really matter which one I pick. If you can read right there, it says a pump package of centerfold action, and that's pretty much what it is. If we have to pick one movie out of here, I'd probably say Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It's just insane. So I'm just, I grew up watching those movies on late night cable. So every now and again, I just like watching those silly movies. They're nothing. Nothing to think about at all. This is just kind of munch some popcorn and kind of stare at the screen and watch stuff explode and stuff jiggle and all kind of stuff. So that's it. That's 25 female-led action movies, or almost 25 led. The Michelle Rodriguez is not. It's led by her, but nonetheless, I wanted to give it up for the females, and there it is. As it's really all I have for you guys on this one. And if you like content like this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all those good YouTube things, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.